What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Cruise Kibitz. I am Kiki from Team Breeze Travels.
I am Siobhan from Partners on the Go.
And I am Cheryl, also known as Sig Cruiser.
And as you can see, we have 4 people on the screen today. And, although we know this person really needs no introduction, we are so sure you are very familiar with her. Allow us to just introduce you to Miss RacQuelle Major-Holland of MH Family Adventures. We're so excited to have you here with us today. We got some chit-chatting to do. We got some questions lined up. And we can't wait to hear more from you.
Yes, thank you. I'm so excited. Thanks for having me on. I'm so glad you guys are back. But really appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate it. I absolutely love Cruise Kibitz, and I love each of your individual channels. So it's truly a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And you know what? Before we even ask any questions, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? I mean, we see what we see on YouTube, but tell us about yourself. Tell us about your channel. Let's get a little mini introduction.
All right. So if you don't know me, I'm RacQuelle from MH Family Adventures. I am one of 5. We are a family of 5 cruising and traveling and just sharing our experiences. We've been on YouTube now for a little over 2 years. We kind of started as a cooking channel and it's evolved into cruising. Been on 37, preparing to go on my 38th cruise since 2019. Just kind of started cruising and have this addiction. So take my family, we go out, we cruise. It's probably my face you see the most because I cruise a little more than they do because I have some flexibility now. But yeah, we're a cruise vlogging family, a channel. We're on social media, YouTube. We're kind of everywhere now trying to, just get out there and cruise and make memories.
I love that. I love that so much. And we're going to talk a little bit about that flexibility later on too, because listen, we love to see it. Okay. But we have a question here. How did you get started in the cruising industry as a travel agent?
So as a travel agent, yes, I am a travel agent. My business is Major Adventures Travel Agency. I actually started to kind of feed my cruise addiction. So like I said, we started cruising in 2019. At that time, I was a school principal. So I've been in education for the last 19 years. Well, I was in education for the last 19 years. And I was a school principal and went on a first cruise in 2019. And just felt like I needed to make more money to help, so we could travel more often. So I started actually on a call center. So I started my own call center business through a company called Arise, and I did customer service for Carnival. So that's kind of how I started. And ironically, Carnival is one of my favorite cruise lines. So I started there. And I liked that because I could just, on the weekends when I had time, I would just, get on the phone line, make a few extra dollars. I'd put that money down on, deposit for a cruise. Because my husband, he's kind of tight with the money. So it was like, if I had a second job or a little gig, I could use that so I didn't have to hear about, us spending so much on travel. So it kind of started there. And I think I did that for a good 6-7 months or so and realized that I really love talking about cruises and talking to people about booking cruises and, that customer service. And I'm like, why am I on doing a call center? I said, I could probably start my own travel agency. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, I decided to open and we just celebrated our 2-year anniversary of being open. And I absolutely love it. It's given me it's given me some flexibility with things, brings in extra income. And I absolutely love it. And we focus solely on cruises. And it's a lot of fun. Love it.
I have a question. So, speaking of, in your introduction, you talked about starting your channel as in cooking instead of cruising. So, when you started cruising in 2019. And I know you became a cruise vlogger, but was that because you just wanted to document your cruise experience, or was it to educate others or to build your agency, or kind of like a combination of all?
So I think it's kind of evolved over time. It started initially just to, document our memories. Mm-hmm. That's really how it started. And then just being an educator by nature, I think it kind of turned into, as I am, out vlogging and showing what our family was up to, it turned into, especially as I got more comfortable with cruising, me actually kind of narrating what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, kind of what the rules for cruising are, that kind of thing. So it kind of evolved into being more educational based. I do think our vlogs are more educational than, well, they're probably entertaining too, but they're more educational, I think. And so that's just the educator in me. And then I think over time, especially now with the travel agency, it has actually helped business to grow because people see that. And I don't consider myself a salesperson by far, but I think, education sells and people see, oh, she knows what she's talking about and she's doing it and she's showing it. So yes, I'm going to let her be my travel advisor. So, we started it, to make memories, and it's just evolved since. And now it's really trying to push out things, educational things related to cruising. That's really what we try to do. And also show how inclusive cruising is by sharing, our full family experience. We have our son who's autistic, and, sometimes you'll see just me cruising. Sometimes you'll see the whole family. You'll see like me with one of the kids. So just kind of showing how you can be creative with cruising to make it. I think people feel like you can't afford cruising or cruising. If you have a large family, you don't always see our whole family cruising. I might, each year I try to do one trip with each kid. That way it's more affordable, and then it gives you that time to connect. But
that's, you know what? I love that about your vlogs, that you educate. You do such a good job in educating people about cruising, the process, the activities, the ship itself. I get out there and I'm just like, y'all gonna see me having a good time. I'm having a good time only. And if I remember to tell y'all what the process, great. And if not, enjoy watching me have a good time.
Right.
I enjoy watching it.
So, I know we talked about you being a principal, and just wondering, how did you decide to make that transition from education to a travel agent, and how did you prepare yourself for that career transition?
Okay, so it was a hard transition. I have to say that. Like I said, having been an educator for 19 years, the last 13 in school administration. And so it was one of those things that over time I had started thinking about I started thinking about taking a step back from administration and going back into teaching, because I really love to teach. I love children. I love to teach. So I started thinking about that. And I'll be honest, what kind of drove me away was just the burnout. You guys probably hear about it all the time with educators. It happens with school admin as well. And it was just the burnout. And then I really started reflecting and thinking. I actually had a work-related injury where I was injured by a student. And I think, and I can share this now because they're fully aware of it, but I had issues with my district just not being supportive, and just, it's really that I really had that vibe of, if something happened to me, they would replace me in a heartbeat. It really didn't matter. I was just a body. And I started, when I was on leave after surgery, I was like, no one has called to check on me. No one has said, and this has nothing to do with my teachers or anyone in my building. But it's like, no one's called to check on me. No one is, supporting. It was, trouble trying to go through workers' comp and this and that. So it really just put a bad taste in my mouth. And I think I was already kind of moving in that direction. And then I started thinking more of, I've been 19 years, our oldest is 18. And it's like, I really have not had that opportunity to be a mom, like to be that mom that can get the kids off to school, that can go to the PTO functions, because I'm doing it for these thousands of other kids and their families and teachers. And so I was just like, you know what, Andrew, this is his senior year. I'm taking off. And that's honestly how it went.
Good for you.
What? Now, Ron and I, it happened fast. Ron was in shock. But he kind of knew where my mind was going. And when I get set on something, it just happens. So am I prepared for it? I didn't fully plan everything out. I just knew that, I've had enough. Right now I'm committing to a year away from school, from the classroom, from administration, really to focus on the kids, their schooling. So I'm volunteering, I'm doing things at their schools, and I'm focusing on my business and also travel. So to prepare for it, I honestly didn't prepare for it. I just kind of said, we're going to make this happen. We're going to make it work. And so far we're making it work. And I just pray, things are going to fall the way they should. And so far it's just amazing how it all happened. Because like I said, it happened fast. And then it's just crazy. Like, I didn't put it out there, but I started getting more and more clients and more business. And I told my husband, like, it's a sign. Like, it was meant to be this way. It really was meant to be this way. And like I said, I don't know what's going to happen beyond this year, but right now I'm fine where I am. And I do miss being in a school. I have to say that I do. There are some days where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not with my kiddos and my teachers, but I'm with my family. And to me, that's important because I feel like I've missed that and they've missed that because I've been so consumed in the school system.
Yeah. That's definitely well earned.
Yeah, and I love how you're kind of showing that transition through your channel too, with your TikToks and your shorts. And I think my favorite one is when you were pulling up to the school and you had your music blasting, and Dyson was like, "You don't even care anymore."
I think I had on like an R&B baby making song. I wasn't even thinking about it, and I pulled up blasting it right in the school district that I worked for. And he's like, "Mom, like, no, not in front of my teammates." I'm like, "Oops, my bad. I didn't even think about it." But I would have never done that before.
I love it. Well, I don't know about the rest of these ladies, but when you put out the short that it said you were officially like stepping away from education and pursuing your travel agent career, I was about to jump up on this couch. I was so happy. I'm like,
yes.
You see this? I swear, like maybe even like the night before that, I think Ray and I were watching one of your vlogs on the Valencia, I think, and we were like, how she get a vlog out that fast? Like she just got on that. But honestly, very well deserved. Very happy.
Thank you.
Love to see the success and just hope that every God continues to bless.
Yes.
Yep. What essential tips would you give someone who is booking a cruise for the very first time?
First tip would be to use a travel advisor, and it doesn't have to be me. I think there's a travel advisor for everybody. I would say use a travel advisor, an experienced travel advisor, because like I said, you call into the cruise lines. A lot of times those agents have not cruised. They're reading from a script, that kind of thing. But someone that can help guide and, share information and kind of, that step-by-step process. I think that's important for a first-time cruiser. Like I felt like I had to learn by default. Like I just went out there and started cruising and learned along the way. But now there's so many resources out there. There's so many cruise vloggers and, there's so much information out there and experienced travel advisors that can really guide from, booking process all the way until, disembarkation. And so I would definitely say, use a travel advisor. For the most part, it's free. Most travel advisors aren't charging anything. If anything, there's a planning fee that's usually refundable, but can help, find the perfect itinerary. I also think being a first-time cruiser to not try to overdo it. I think sometimes new cruisers want to get on the biggest, newest ship. And I feel like that, like if I started cruising, my first cruise was Carnival Sensation. If I started cruising on like Carnival Celebration, I don't know if I would have gone on as many cruises as I've been on because I kind of had a gradual buildup. Once you get on those big ships, like you really don't want to turn back and they cost a lot more. So I would say, a small ship, I call them oldies but goodies. An older ship is perfect for a first-time cruiser, a shorter itinerary, something with, not as many busy ports, like having Half Moon Cay. I just finished watching your Half Moon Cay vlog. Something that is not a busy port, a busy itinerary, something short, I'm not thinking 3 days, but maybe a 4 or 5 day cruise, but just keep it simple for that first cruise. Don't feel like you have to, over research. And I know people do that, and us being content creators, we allow people to get out there and do a lot of research, but just try to keep it simple, really get out there and experience it, and just take what you hear and see, with a grain of salt, because everyone's experience is different. But yeah, I say just get out there, have fun, and don't feel like you have to do everything, because you see a lot of times, like it may look like I've done everything on the ship. There's still a lot to do, or, just get out there and do, what you want to do, make your cruise but definitely use somebody to help guide you along the way.
And also, if you don't want to use RacQuelle, you could always use myself or Cheryl.
Absolutely.
We're all travel agents here.
Absolutely.
And we are different travel agents for different tastes. So you have a great option of travel agents right here in this chat.
Yes, I believe there's one for everyone.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to know if you could share one of your most memorable experiences on one of your cruises that you've taken.
I would say it would be our first family cruise. My first cruise was Carnival Sensation, and that was just me and my sisters. That kind of started it all. And then we actually had a trip planned to visit California for 5 or 6 days. And I got off Carnival Sensation, I think it was June, and we were scheduled to go to California as a family in July. We canceled that trip and we flew to California because we already had our flights. And we swapped out our stays at the hotels and all of the museums and things, and we changed it to go on Carnival Inspiration. So that was probably the most memorable experience for me, just getting on board with the kids, because I already knew what to expect.
Right.
And I was super excited to see their reactions. So kind of just watching their reactions. And then I just remember, we were all in one cabin, and it was an interior cabin because we were just, trying to get on a cruise ship. Mm-hmm. And it was like me and Ron, and then Jo was on the floor in her little cot, and the boys were above us. And I just kind of looked and like, yeah, this is the life. Like, this is going to be fun. And that kind of sticks to me. And that's probably the most memorable cruise experience. Just knowing, like, at that moment I said, this is nice. I like this. Just having us all together and cruising. And it's been history ever since.
That's awesome. And I love seeing you cruise with all of your family too. But I got to say, I love seeing you cruise with your sisters as well. Like, that's hilarious.
I'm telling you, my sister Cheryl, I get so many comments about her. Now, I cruise with all of my siblings. I've cruised with all of my siblings at some point, but Cheryl, now she was the one, and I think one of you guys posted a short or a video about not being able to drink all that water. Who posted that? I can't remember. You posted it. And I think I commented, didn't I? I said, oh, my sister Cheryl used to say that all the time. I can't drink all that water.
Yeah.
And here she is, hooked, and she'll actually be on a cruise with me. It's a surprise cruise. She'll be with me some point this year. So again, and she's hooked on cruising, but people love her. I said they comment more about her than they do me.
She's hilarious. Yes, especially that one you put out today about the man at the buffet and what she found out.
Oh
yeah, Mr. Jack.
yeah.
So speaking of cruising with your sisters, you recently did a Mediterranean cruise with your sisters to celebrate your birthday. That looked like an amazing trip for one. But during the trip, we did see that you encountered some rude individuals and unfortunately even experienced some intended theft, I'll say. Mm-hmm. Can you share a little bit more about that experience and how you felt in those moments?
Yeah, so it was just, I think being an educator, being around so many different personalities and so many different people and teachers and parents, like I have a very high tolerance for foolishness, whereas my sisters don't. And so I think it worked well because we kind of all balanced each other. Like I was always that, the person to come in to say, hey, try to think of, this is just a cultural difference. They don't understand, we just had people like just the overall vibe. People were just, and it's not everyone. I don't want to generalize and say it was everyone, but it was quite like it was a large number of people that would just cut in front of you. They would brush into you and bump you. And like I said, literally like a lady tried to grab tongs out of my hand as I was at the buffet because she was sitting in front of me. Yes. And she was trying to get a croissant or something. I had the lady, I mentioned it in the vlog, the lady put her plate on my table and I actually had to stop vlogging, and I wish I didn't. I think I just cut it off real quick because I looked like, did she just put her? And I stopped it, and I'm like, shoot, that would have made.
That was a natural reaction, though. You had to find out.
It threw you off so much that you just was like, stop.
Yeah, you probably saw my face shift because I was just in shock. Like, are you kidding me? So yeah, it was a lot of that, and I really tried to give people the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes I feel like I always try to seek to understand. Before making assumptions that, they should know better and things like that. And so being the first time there, I was a little more understanding of some of those things that we would see. My sister Cheryl, I kind of prepped her because we're total opposites. Like our personalities are total opposites. She will go off on you in a heartbeat. You probably don't see that all the time in the vlogs, but we're total opposites. That's why we mesh so well. But the first couple of days, I had to keep bringing her back. After a while, I didn't vlog all that, but y'all, she was saying stuff back, and she was because it was just a lot.
Yeah.
And then we had the issue where her phone got stolen in Barcelona, and that was a whole crazy ordeal. And again, I don't have the, I'm not always trying to put people on blast when I vlog, and I tend to not vlog people. And I didn't, honestly, in that moment, I was like, well, what happened to her phone? and we're trying to search for it. So I didn't even film that. But yeah, the guy had her phone. She went and asked for it or asked about it. He said he didn't know where it was. Literally, I walked in. My other sister was calling her son to call her phone. And as I walked in, the phone started ringing and he had it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is incredible. And he was like, oh, I didn't take her phone. My boss must have found it and put it under the counter or whatever. And it just, yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
it was an experience. And I tried to share that to say, definitely watch yourself. It's a different environment, different people. But I would absolutely do it again. It was definitely a memorable cruise, something I'm already in the works. I'm trying to plan something for another one, but definitely you have to go in with an open mind and understanding that people aren't going to have the manners or the etiquette or the, it's just different.
It's different.
And it was really different.
Yeah.
Now,
So
if
keep your expectations a little bit.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think when you first announced the Mediterranean cruise, you were planning on going solo.
Yes.
Okay, so now that you've experienced it with your sisters, what do you think about someone doing a Mediterranean cruise as a solo cruiser?
Yeah, I think it can be done. I know Jen Danielle was just over in the Mediterranean. I was watching her vlog earlier as well. I think it's something you can do. You really just have to go in, like taking safety precautions. And I know, Sig, you talk about this all the time. I mean, if you're going solo, like I said, we were pickpocketed. Her phone was taken. And so I would just say be aware of your surroundings. Take the ship excursions. Don't go off wandering on your own. But in hindsight, I definitely feel like I had a better experience because my sisters were there. I did plan this solo, and I shared with my sisters, I'm doing this for my 40th birthday. I knew Ron couldn't go with me because the kids and, trying to get them to and from all their summer activities. So when I told him, my sister, she was like, no, you're not going by yourself. I'm going with you. And literally she booked that day.
Wow.
So that's how that happened. She forced herself on my solo trip. But I think I would go to the Mediterranean on my own. I would just definitely take some precautions, but I would probably prefer to go back with my sisters or with other people.
That was my curveball question. I guess I was going to ask, would you ever take a group on a Mediterranean cruise? Would you
take a group?
Yeah.
Actually, the cruise that I'm planning right now, and I don't have all the details yet, but I am looking to open it up too, because I had a lot of people reach out after the cruise, after seeing the vlogs, and a lot of comments about, you don't see a lot of us. And like I said, being on the ship, there were only a handful. Like there might have been 10, and there weren't many Americans at all. And I know people are saying that it's different with MSC because it's a European cruise line, that it's different. Like it's more diverse if you take Royal Caribbean or another cruise line out of the Mediterranean, but ours was not diverse at all. And so I got a lot of comments about, it was kind of refreshing to see us out of the Mediterranean and vlogging and sharing our experience. So, and I had some people say, I have family and friends that I've been trying to get to do, they won't go. And I'm like, I'm fine with people joining us. I don't have a problem with that. So I said I might open it up to like a very small group. I don't want like anything, like I don't want to make it like an official group cruise where there's activities and things, but more so just like a sisterhood of, and not even a sisterhood, whoever wants to go is welcome to go. And it's just, like a safety net. We're all going together. These are some activities we can do together to kind of just, those that want to experience that don't have someone to go with, they're more than welcome to go. So I will be opening that up soon.
Put me on the list.
That'd be fun.
Right. That sounds amazing.
It does.
Because so many people, I feel like, would hold back on that kind of trip if you couldn't find somebody to go with, right? Like I was nervous about cruising by myself here. I know I would be too nervous to cruise to the Mediterranean by myself. That mean I got to fly that by myself too.
Yeah, we were nervous. Like I did so much research and I planned everything, but still, like there were nerves. Just you didn't want something to go wrong, and you gotta really have some backup money and things like that, because anything could happen over there. Your flight, you're left there. You got to figure out how to get back home, and so really just trying to make sure all everything was planned well, and it was stressful, but it was a lot of fun. It really was.
You know what? Speaking of the flight, what was that experience like planning and booking international flights for that trip?
Actually, it wasn't that bad. I mean, the flights were high, but I am a budget airline. Like that's pretty much all I fly. So Frontier, Allegiant, Spirit, Avilo, all of those cheaper airlines, that's what we fly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew going into it when I looked at the pricing, like American Airlines was double the cost of we flew TAP Portugal. And I know there's controversy on whether they're actually a budget airline, but they were the cheapest thing at the time.
Okay.
And but they were still kind of expensive for the flight. So no, it wasn't like I booked the cruise one day and probably the next week I booked the flight. And I try not to put too much thought into that because I feel like if you start, like I'm not the type, once I book the flight, I'm not going to keep going back to check the price and do all this
Yeah.
because then it stresses you out if you see that the price drop. I just leave it alone. Like, okay, I'm
Right.
willing to pay X. I'm going to go ahead and book it because it's at the price point I like and I leave it alone.
Right.
Now cruise is different. I always check the prices of my cruises, but so yeah, it wasn't really stressful looking for the international flights, but it can be, and that's the thing too that a lot of people that reached out was that people trying to get their money up, and I just did my tips on the Mediterranean cruise. Just people have to understand there's an extra cost going over to the Mediterranean than like flying to Miami. Like those flights are expensive, and you have to be prepared and ready to book when the flights are right. You can't wait on it because you're going to be paying, an arm and a leg just to get over there. Because our flights were like my flight was more than the cruise itself.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. Goodness.
Yeah. So
thank you so much for that, RacQuelle. Like, it's very good to know that the process of booking the flights is not that bad. I mean, I think we all kind of expected it to be expensive, but for anybody that's listening, expect it to be expensive.
right.
Even for the budget lines, it sounds like. But to shift gears a little bit to cruising itself, one of the things that you cover on your channel and that you highlight is what it's like to cruise with someone with special needs, and highlighting different cruise lines and how they are inclusive, and what things do they do to promote inclusivity. So can you share some advice for anyone out there that may be a little bit apprehensive about cruising with a child or a family member who fits into that category?
Yeah. So, and I think maybe this is the educator in me. Like I'm always looking for ways to make sure everyone fits in. And like I said, we have our son. He's 18 now, who has autism. He's mostly nonverbal. He loves to dance. So if you guys probably seen Andrew out on the dance floor, he loves it. But I just like to share with people. I want people to understand that cruising really is open for everyone. I think sometimes I've heard people and I've seen people leave comments about, my child has this or my husband is this, or like there's a cruise for everyone. There really is. And there's chartered cruises for certain disabilities and certain things. You have Autism on the Seas that provides support. Actually, I'll be volunteering with Autism on the Seas, my first Autism on the Seas in February. But I've been kind of part of that organization for a little bit. So there's like organizations, there's resources out there for those that have disabilities or require accommodations. A lot of people don't realize that cruise lines have accessible cabins. So if you require a wheelchair or scooter, you can request that. You just book early because those sell out fast. They have cabins that are for those that have hearing difficulties or maybe blind. You just have to really do your research. And again, this is why using a travel advisor, an experienced one, can help find those things for you. But cruise lines, I mean, a lot of times people also don't realize, like Carnival, they're culture city certified, meaning they know how to, most of the crew, they're certified. They know how to deal with individuals that have like sensory needs. And if they see somebody that they believe in, if you go to the guest services, they'll give you a bag that has like a lanyard that says, forgot exactly what the wording is, but it lets the crew know that you have some sensory challenges. And if they see that, you need support or if you need headset, they're going to provide you with those tools. The kids clubs, the teens club, they're trained to work with individuals with disabilities. So I feel like a lot of people shy away from it because they feel like, it's going to be just on me. Now, if your child or adult even has some severe needs, or moderate needs, then you might want to look at something like Autism on the Seas, where you can get like a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1 aid for or a volunteer for your family member or friend. That way you can enjoy your vacation. You'll have time as a family to come back together. But it's truly a wonderful experience. So there's lots and lots of resources out there. People that have medical needs, like there's dialysis at sea. There's cruises where people that need dialysis, you can go on a cruise. So it just requires some research. Like there's not a rule that says because you have this or you have that, you cannot cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone that's breathing can cruise. And I just like to try to share that message and show that, yes, you can get out there, you can cruise, your family member can cruise, your child can cruise. And I like to highlight things, like if I see an accessible cabin, I try to show what that might look like. Like in the Mediterranean, I did have a lot of questions and clients asking, is it accessible over there? It's not necessarily. They don't have the same ADA laws here that we have there. It's in the process. 2025, they should have better ADA laws over there. So just really have to do your research, but just know that cruising, for me, even more so than like a resort, I feel like it's totally inclusive. If you've never, if you've seen a sail away party, everyone welcomes everyone. And it really is a beautiful thing to see. And I just feel like some people feel like I have family members and I have friends who have someone in their family that has some sort of disability. And they almost feel like they have to shelter them or keep them away from, or we can't do this because of that. And that's not true. You really can't. Even if it's just a 3-day cruise, you can get out, go to the beach, experience a cruise. Don't feel like you have to stay home. Just get out there. And that's kind of what I like to share, is that cruising is open, available for everyone. And whatever resources or accommodations are needed, for the most part, if you ask, the cruise line will try to accommodate, or there's other resources or chartered cruises or Autism on the Sea, Dialysis on the Sea, things like that can help support.
I think a big thing that inspired me is because, our son is also nonverbal autistic, and he, a lot of the time, we don't cruise with him just because not only the nervousness, but because he's at a point right now where he loves his grandparents. So his thing is he wants to spend as much time as possible. Like even if he's had enough of school for the week, he's asking to go see his grandfather. But for us, we want to start including him in those things, and it's kind of nerve-wracking for us because we know he has to have his headphones. He is 95% nonverbal. He has a couple of words he could say, but what if he got separated from us? And also now he's 18, so there's no kids club to send him to.
Right.
And I think that's another thing that maybe, I know it has another topic for another time, but maybe cruise lines should also consider about people with special needs that are over the age of 18, and some things that could be done to include them in a different way too. So
yes,
it's definitely been inspirational for us to watch your family, just because we know we're heading in a direction where we want to start exposing him to cruising because we love it so much, and how it can we can guide him into that direction. So thank you for showing that side of it.
Right, absolutely. And I actually messaged John Heald about that, because I feel like that's something, he's the Carnival's ambassador, just trying to get the conversation rolling, that I feel like there should be something, because our son had the same issue. He turned 18 this past May, and the Teens Club, the Kids Club, that was like a huge part of his cruising life, and that's gone now. And so when we cruise, it does look very different. We do not trust him. Not that we don't trust him, because not everyone's kind, unfortunately.
No,
I mean, for the most part, when we cruise, we haven't had issues. He's always made friends, and they've taken good care of him. But that's not, unfortunately, always going to be the case. So I do feel like there should be some sort of safe haven for those with disabilities that can go to and hang out, and there be some trained individuals that can help support them, give them some structured activities. And again, Autism on the Seas is a perfect resource. Because it's going to be like, I will have a one-to-one. I will be with an individual. I haven't been assigned yet, but I'll be with that person the entire cruise. And so it's truly given the family respite. They can go and enjoy the cruise, but there'll be structured times where we all come together and go see a show or go ice skating or go to the beach. And so it's really nice because you get to learn that person. And I truly have a passion for individual special needs. Our son, we're Special Olympics. We're like, that's what my heart really is, and I love it. So definitely Autism on the Seas, I highly recommend it. I know a lot of people that have gone through the program. They pretty much cruise like Royal Caribbean and Disney right now. I do think they're going to expand over time, but yeah, I agree. We got to get something rolling on these cruise lines for those young adults that, and not even just young adults, there's,
young
others
adults.
that,
Yeah,
yeah,
because Shay and Drew actually met on the celebration, and Shay, when she met Drew, she was like, he was having the time of his life. But Shay is also, the next time she sails, she'll be 18, and the kids club was such a major part of her cruising experience.
Yeah.
And now that she's 18, there needs to be an in between that 18 and 20 mark. What do we do with these kids that you're kind of forcing out of that system?
Yeah.
And just now they're just walking around the ship. They can't do the adult things and they can't do the kids things. So what do we do with it?
Yeah. Just limbo.
Yeah.
It's
well,
tough.
I definitely,
I just want people to know that cruising is open for everyone. There's no, and I've actually had clients say, I can't cruise because of this. No, you can.
Yeah.
Tell me, we can make this happen. So yes, cruising is for everyone.
Yes,
absolutely. That's wonderful. And I again, just like Siobhan said, thank you for sharing that kind of info in your vlogs. RJ has sensory issues, and we've been sailing with him since he was very little. I don't even think he was 2 years old yet when he took his first cruise. I never knew that Carnival had those sensory bags until I saw it in your vlog. I was like, we've been going here, we've been pulling our own stuff together, taking our own headphones and having our own plan, and let's have a bunch of snacks just in case. And, what's the plan if things go awry and that kind of stuff. Right. And I didn't know that Carnival had stuff out there already that could have been helpful in those situations. So
and other cruise lines are on board. Like Royal Caribbean, certain ships are already culture city certified. So all of the cruise lines are getting on board with it. And a lot of the people don't realize it too. A lot of the kids camp, a lot of those were either retired teachers or studying to be teachers. So So a lot of them aren't just like, I applied for this job, I don't even like kids or teens. They truly have some experience working with people. So
and shout out to you too for getting the conversations going on having that next step for our younger adults that need some place to be able to call their own on cruise ships too. So all right, I think we are going to shift gears just a tad bit back into our YouTube talk just before we get out of here. But we have already talked about how amazing your channel is, how much we all love to watch, how educational you are in your vlogs. What do you like? What motivates you, and how do you decide what's going to go in my vlog while I'm cruising and what's going to stay out? How do you make that decision while you're out?
I honestly, guys, I am such a I'm a procrastinator. I do not plan anything. I think I kind of have a structure going where I try to do a day-to-day vlog. Now, something people don't understand too is it looks like I vlog a lot, but I really don't. So I'm not I know a lot of people do a lot of vlogging and they have hours on hours per day of content that they have to get down. Pretty much what you see is what I do.
Wow.
So I literally, if I might have 2 hours, no, I might have an hour and a half worth of content, and pretty much that's what's going to be pulled out, and I might break that up into days. So I know that I want to share certain things, I want to show embarkation, I want to show sail away, I want to show, and I know that our subscribers and followers like the day-to-day vlogs. I know some people break it out by content and things, which is fine, but I think in my mind, I just always structure my vlogs that way. So I get up with my good morning and I end with my good night. And these are the key things that we did throughout the day. But you don't see I get that question a lot. Do you enjoy your vacation? Because you're always vlogging. I'm really not. Right. I'm really not vlogging the whole vacation. You only see a little part of it. And I might only show you a little bit of us at the pool, but we were at the pool for 3 hours or, so you're only seeing a little snippet of it. But I don't really plan out what I'm going to, I want to start, and I feel like the Content Creators Roundtable is going to help me do that. Trying to get that. So guys, if you're not part of that, definitely check it out. It was a lot of great information shared, and I don't consider myself a veteran or anything. I am still learning. Technology is not my friend, but I felt like I learned some valuable things, and I really have to start, like you called it, batch editing. I learned what that meant and didn't know, but I really don't plan things out. I just kind of go with the flow, but I feel like I want to probably start structuring things so that I know ahead of time. I don't want to create a storyboard because that to me doesn't feel natural. I want to show what happens as it happens. But I do think I need to be more strategic I want to make sure that I highlight this and I go film this, especially with like my short content, because I'm really trying to become more active on social media. So instead of doing the full length blogs, getting out there and showing some short, that's what I have to plan, because I struggle with that, and I really want to start really posting regularly on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook.
And I would say that's one of the things that I noticed from when I first joined or subscribed to your YouTube channel. And it's like you can see the growth and how you've expanded over time. And it's like when I saw you getting into the shorts and getting into the TikTok, and I'm like, man, how is she? Like you said, I'm like, how is she doing this? This is taking it must be taking a lot of time, because it feels like a lot of content.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you're doing is working, because hello, 10K subscribers, let's go.
That was a long time coming. Like it took forever, it felt, to get there. But we're thankful for our subscribers and supporters. And like I said, I think that there's a blogger for everyone. There's travel, because I honestly never thought we would be here, because I don't think I'm exciting at all. Like I feel like I'm pretty, that's just how I feel. Like I don't like, and people don't realize this, I don't like that I am pretty much the face of our channel. That was not the intention. That was not the intention. The kids were supposed to take over the channel, and they had not. So it's kind of turned into, you see my face all the time, and I'm really trying to get them to do more things. But yeah, I'm excited to be where we are, because I really thought people were like, she's dry, she's boring, but it's kind of been the opposite. But like I said, I think because some people like the entertaining vlogs, some like the educational, some, so people are going to go where they like it, and we're happy. We're thankful for our subscribers.
I honestly think you need to try to force Dyson into a little bit more camera time, because he's funny. He is hilarious, and I'm hilarious. Dyson camera time.
I tried. And then Ron, he doesn't like the camera at all. He likes to be beside me on these live streams, but he does not, like when we're out and about, he just doesn't. So
so funny though. Ron does not play. He's like, all right.
You guys have to watch him. He's always nudging me. Like tomorrow we have our live stream, he'll start nudging me. I'm like, you just go.
So do you have like an overall goal that you're working toward for the channel, or just kind of taking it day by day?
My goal, well, for the end of this year, I'd like to be at 15,000. That's kind of my goal. But really, I want to get on as many ships as I can and have that content, the educational content rolling out. I love that I kind of have somewhat of a catalog now, to where like whenever I have somebody that wants to book a cruise and they say, hey, I want to book Carnival Celebration, instead of me, because before when I first started being a travel advisor, I was sharing everyone else's content. I'm like, well, here's a ship tour of this, and here's this and that. Like I want to get to the point where across most lines, I can say, I've sailed on all these ships, or this sister ship, and here's some content connected to that. Here's some content on, cruising being inclusive. And so my goal is to really just build the catalog and have that, get the kids on board more. That's really, I think Jo Marie really wants to start taking over. So you'll probably see some more of her now that she's a little older. And I just want to get on as many cruise ships as possible and share that content and make memories. And I feel like we have a really good balance of that. So although now, because this is my full-time thing, it feels like business, but it's a lot of fun, and I love it. But our goal is 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And to continue grow, we want to get some brand deals, possibly working on some things kind of behind the scenes with that. That's kind of our goal. I don't really have a true goal. Just 15,000 by the end of the year. Travel, vlog, get that content out.
I love the goal about just building up your catalog, because that's not what you hear often. You hear numerical goals a lot, right? I want to hit this many K. I want this many bookings, like that kind of stuff. But just to hear you say, I want to be able to expand my knowledge so that I can give more to our supporters. That's an awesome goal to me. So
I think that makes a difference too, when you're able to, not only show, but you can speak to, different experiences across different cruise lines and be able to compare it, and you're doing it firsthand, rather than what you've gotten from someone else, or, just reading from the cruise ship knowledge base or something. So
Yeah. And it's amazing. I'm sure you guys know it's amazing for business. So anybody that's thinking about being a travel advisor, I rarely post like a regular ad or advertisement. It's truly just people see you're on the ship. Hey, can you send information on this? Or, and it really it has really, really helped business. So yeah.
Nothing feels better than sending a quote and being able to attach your own video to that quote, because I do all the time. And I'm like, you know what? Like you said, I don't have to show you somebody else's stuff. I actually sell that ship. This is our experience. If you have any questions, you can actually come to me, because I am a travel agent.
Absolutely.
It makes a huge difference than a travel agent that answers the phone and sells you a cruise. So
listen, I'm writing some notes down for my husband. We can start attaching our videos.
The content creators round table.
Right. Well, look, this has been an amazing interview. I hope you had as much fun as we did, RacQuelle. It's been an absolute pleasure. Last question, and then we're going to let you go. Do you have any exciting updates to share with our audience today?
I don't know. I have a couple things in mind, but I'm trying to get better, because I'm the type, you probably picked up on this. As soon as something happens, I have to share it. I want to share it. And I'm trying to be like Siobhan. She kept on. Congratulations to your Carnival business plan.
Thank you.
That you're going to next week. So good luck.
That was so hard.
And I know. And I'm like, I don't know how she did that, because as soon as I get some information, I'm like, I got to share this. And I have members, so now I can share with my channel members. So I'm trying to get better with not putting everything out there, because I do think that people like that suspense. So you might see me just pop up on a ship here and there. I have 5 or 6 more cruises booked for this year. We're going to start 2024 off with a bang. So a lot of that, I'm working on some deals behind the scenes. So you might hear and see some of that, but I'm going to try to keep things a little hush as much as I can, because I kind of want to keep things suspenseful and not share everything. I'm trying to get better with that. So I'm saying that now. If you see me post something later, remind me that I said I was going to hold on to it. But I'm just thankful, and I feel blessed that I'm in a place where I'm able to do this and do this full time now. So really just want to try to keep this momentum going with YouTube and social media and our travel agency, and just keep things flowing, so I don't have to go back into the school system next year. So that's kind of what the big plan is.
All right, well, y'all heard it there. If you want to know what's coming, you're gonna have to head over to MH Family Adventures YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so that you can be ready and you will know when stuff comes up. So we hope that everyone enjoyed the interview. And you know what? I think we need Siobhan to tell us, how can you get in touch with us if you have questions, either for RacQuelle or for us or for Cruise Kibitz?
Well, the first thing you need to do is comment underneath the video and make sure you have our notification bell ring, because how do you know when we send you more great content if you haven't subscribed and ring the notification bell? The next thing you need to do is head over to Instagram and make sure you subscribe to our Instagram. You can message us there. And you can also send us an email at Cruise Kibitz. That is Cruise, KIBITZ, @gmail.com. And just send us a little email. Let us know what's going on and if we can help you out.
Sounds good. There you have it. I don't know about y'all, but Sid, what you think?
I think this has been great. Thank you, RacQuelle. And I think we should call this a podcast.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy cruising, everybody.
Yes, it's been fun. Thank you so much.
Bye.